So I'm a 6 foot tall woman, and I don't have a problem with tall men preferring short women. And I know that sounds very hard to believe coming from a tall woman, but I really don't have a problem with it for a few different reasons. The number one reason why is because I'm the product of two generations of very tall men who picked smaller women. My dad is 6'9", my mother is 5'6". My mother's mother is somewhere between 5 feet and 5'2", and my mother's father is 6'4". And if my dad and my granddad had picked taller women, I might be even taller. If my mom and my grandma had picked shorter men, I might be short or shorter. I wouldn't care if I were shorter, but I prefer to be tall. Like if I could choose to not be tall, I would not choose to not be tall. I like being tall. So I might not look the way I look if my parents had picked someone else. My parents and my grandparents had picked someone else. I might not look the way I look, and I like how I look. Or I might not exist altogether. And that's the case for a lot of tall women. If tall men were banned from dating short women and vice versa, a lot of tall women who exist today wouldn't even exist. Or they might exist and they would look very different than how they currently look. But a lot of us like the way we look and we like being tall. Not all of us are insecure about our height. Not all of us got bullied for being tall when we were growing up. Some of us actually, people fawned over us and were fascinated by our physiques when we were growing up. And even people who resent us often admit that they're jealous and they wish it were them. Not all of us are insecure about being tall. Some of us like how we look and wouldn't have it any other way. So that's the number one reason why. Like, I can't have negative feelings about a union that I'm a product of. Like, I can't reconcile that in my mind. So that's the number one reason. The number two reason is because it really just comes down to biology and nature. Two tall people are going to create a super tall kid. And you have to think about how that kid's quality of life is going to be. Like, yeah, a lot of us like being tall, but at the same time, the world is not designed for anybody any taller than 5'9", maybe 5'10". So a kid who's well over 6 feet and like they might like being extremely tall, but the world just physically and socially really it's not built for us. You know, being tall has its unique challenges. And I know that a lot of short people like to make fun of that because they see us as privileged. I'm not going to try to explain it to you and I'm not going to try to make you understand, but being tall does come with some unique challenges. And so nature has its way of keeping things balanced. Two tall people are going to create a super tall kid. You have to worry about their quality of life. And then two short people are going to create a super short kid, and you have to worry about their quality of life. A very tall person and a very short person will create a person who is kind of in the middle. And that in the middle can include a range of different heights. Like you can be on the higher end of in the middle and still be taller without being too tall. You can be on the shorter end of in the middle and not be too short. Like you would end up a tall person and a short person is likely to create someone who's in the middle. And of course, if one of your parents is tall and one of your parents is short, you can easily end up short, you can easily end up tall. But for the most part, nature has its way of keeping itself balanced is what it comes down to. I do think super tall men are better off with super short women, and people always hate on their union, but I honestly think they're better off with each other. The taller man will cause the shorter woman's genes, like her offspring, to be a little taller, and then the shorter women will cause the taller man's offspring to be a little shorter. Like that's how nature and the universe keeps itself balanced. So I think really tall men and really short women, I think they're better off with each other. And I think extremely tall women, I think we're better off with men around our own size. And I know a lot of us want someone who's a lot taller than us because it really does feel good being with someone who's taller than you. I mean, we all want to be with someone who's taller than us by like a few inches. But I think extremely tall women, we're better off with men that are a little bit closer to our own size. And that doesn't mean he can't be a little taller than us. Just closer to our own size is who I think we're better off with to stop our children from being extremely tall. And they still might end up being super tall. But still, I think that's who we're better off with.